Hi friends, welcome again to another page of our Simplicity Journal. Today I'm excited to get started on a new page. I've titled this one The Done List. It's so easy for me to make a to-do list, and I realized that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and it wasn't contributing to me learning to simplify and go a little slower and feel a little bit calmer. So I wanted to encourage myself that, hey, maybe I'm not doing everything on my to-do list, but I'm still getting things done. So that's the motivation behind this page. Since I've been using it, I'll show you how I'm starting to use it. I love it, and it's been such a gift of realizing that it's okay. It's enough what I get done, even if it's not everything better and quicker and faster and always more rushing and more doing. I know I get very quick to judge myself by my accomplishments and what I get done, but this is not the reason for this page. It's to help me see that the little that I get done, even if it feels like a little, even if no one sees it, even if it's behind the scenes, it matters. And sometimes it matters more than all the big showy stuff or the outward stuff. Sometimes it's the inner working that makes the difference. Here are a few words that I've written for myself, a little quote that I want to remind myself of, and the little instructions, which we'll go through as we create this page. Here's a page that goes with it for some cutouts and decors. And then I've included a couple calendars in this file as well that I have used. As we go through it, you'll see, and we can do this together. You can choose what works for you best. So I'm going to start by cutting it all out. So I decided to skip on filming the cutting and my ramblings just to save a bit of time. I know you're all busy. Of course, you can decide which ones you want to cut and use, but what I like to do is cut them all, and then I kind of try things out with the design and see what I want. I don't see it clearly yet until I have all the pictures kind of categorized and set in place. So I'm going to put all my journals, books here. These are my extra little boxes, and then the flower designs. So I find something so soothing and relaxing about crafting, cutting out, gluing, putting in together. This is my joy and passion, and it just brings a little bit more calm and peace to my mind. But I wanted to also encourage you that if you're not into all the crafting stuff, you don't have to worry about not being able to use this, because you can just use the part that you would like to use. You can skip out on all the cuttings, and maybe you can write something yourself that you want to remember, or you can also just use the done lists instead. I'll just read you the instructions so that they're clearer rather than me trying to ramble them off with long-winded words. Choose an area of your life or home where this monthly done calendar could be a useful tool. I knew I wanted to make myself a done list, and then it turned out into a calendar, as you'll notice because of what I've used it for. This is to track your progress and growth. It could be to note the tended to home tasks. It could be a place to log the meals you've lovingly prepared. It could be a place to record your gentle acts of kindness. Maybe you might want to list how you nurtured your well-being, or highlight your moments of calm. So anything that you feel you need at this moment. And these are some of the things that I wanted to include these for. I made two available for you. A monthly overview of home cleanup tasks. This is something that I was very stressed out about in my new home. I wanted to start off right. That's just the reason I decided to do this. And rather than listing and having all my checklists and to-dos, I just settled for dones, anything that I have finished and done. And that way I can feel okay and I can feel that it's enough for right now. This one, I've made it blank, which is why I've made also some extra little tags. If I wanted to change it around, I could always glue one that I prefer. This one I've printed out a couple times. And I've used this one, the blank one, ways I've taken care of myself and my well-being, because this is a time and season that I needed to pay more attention to my health and my body and my routine. So that's what I decided to do. And I wrote the numbers, and I started with the day or the month of July. So I started a bit late, the 21st of July, and I continued doing something each day. I wanted to track one thing at least that I did for myself and my well-being. A few ideas where I didn't pack up any food and snacks for our day out. So nice not to have to cook for a day. So we just went out and trusted the flow and that we'd find a place to eat, even though we had nothing planned. And that felt so nice. That was taking care of me and not putting that pressure of preparing the picnic or whatever. It's kind of difficult because I have picky eaters and I also have lots of allergies. But we went to a buffet and we all found something that we loved and enjoyed. So that was perfect. I made myself a new bouquet of flowers for us all to enjoy, getting flowers from my garden. I moved around a vase, a lamp, a candle, some books for more beauty to my home. Even just a little thing, it challenged me to find at least one thing for each day. So some can be very random. Here I switched out my negative mindset about cleaning up messes. And instead, I learned to see it as a gift to myself, not for anyone else. I was getting really frustrated about the kids not picking up after themselves and just messes and dust and cat fur all over the place. And then I realized that, hey, cleaning is actually a gift to myself. It feels good. And rather than feel frustrated or flustered getting to the cleaning or having to do it, feeling like I could put it as a done for my well-being, realizing that I could totally change my mindset on it was freedom. Here I decided to go with flow today, focusing on little ordinary wins and being content with that. So that's what I turned flow into, focusing on little ordinary wins. And so throughout the day, I just reminded myself of those little wins. This day, I spent the afternoon with a friend. We went to the library, we went for a walk. That was so enjoyable. And that was for me. And this day, I enjoyed a time of crafting and doodling, another special thing, which always helps me to feel better. And so here, for my cleanup tasks around homes, rather than all the things I didn't do, I'm listing here the things that got done. And this, I started the beginning of the month. I made a little box for each day of the week, and I added daily. Here's when I got to the daily jobs. And I didn't get to very many weekly or monthly jobs at all, but I wanted to still encourage myself and realize that the world didn't stop turning because I didn't get to all of it. I have a lot of other responsibilities away from home at the moment, so it's okay if it's not perfectly tended to and everything done in a week or for the month. And I'm being content with all the D's that I see. Every time I see a D, I remind myself, delight in the little things, delight in the done things. So it's kind of like D for done, but also D for my daily jobs, which is a quick tidy up, quick clean up, quick pick up around my house, making my bed, the dishes, the counters, and just a very quick organization around the house. And the deep cleaning can be done other times, and I'm content with those D's all over the place. I scrubbed the shower one day.
I did watering. I tried to do it once a week. I moved the balcony flowers here. Here I did the floors and counters in the laundry room and garage. Here I cleaned all the skirting boards. Here I scrubbed the toilets and shower, kitchen drawers. Here I swept the garden. Here I mopped the floors. Here I changed the bedding. So
I am learning to be content with simple. As you see here, it's always there in my face reminding me, simpler is better. Enough rambling. I'm going to put these on my page. So I thought I would just fold them in half because you might be wondering, how am I going to fit all this on one page? I want to use all the other pages for other topics. So I will make like a little mini book on this paper. You can also feel free to cut part of the calendar and a little on the sides. Same with this one. I do want to make sure that it's the same size. So the first thing I will do is glue them together. And then I can cut the other one, make sure that it's exactly at the same place. When I make these videos, I really enjoy doing it, showing you the process at the same time. But just forgive me if there's something I forget to explain or to share, because I have a hard time these days focusing on two things at a time. Here I'm focusing on doing it and sharing it with you and talking about it as I do it, and it's not very clear. My mind is maybe not as focused. And then I realized that there are things that I wanted to say or wanted to share about this project or about this page that I totally forgot to mention in here. So I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to forgive me for that. Like here, for example, I just cut off the date. I'm going to have to write it somewhere else. I might write the month of July here. Well, it will be July and August, seeing that there's all these boxes. Anyway, so already I have this part done. And you know me, I want to include these little quotes here because that's what brings me meaning. That's what makes me want to come back to these. That's my little aha moment, life lesson on the topic. And that's how I get these ideas. It's usually during my quiet morning time, journaling time. These little words pop up into my journal, which makes me think of an idea. Hey, I could do this, a done list. Even though it's not what I had planned or in mind. I had a lot of other pages in mind, but I went with the flow and just, this is something I could add to this simplicity journal. I love finding practical, physical ways to express my lessons and to express the things that I want to grow and challenge myself into. And by putting it on paper, in a book, with art, to me, that's my favorite way to do that. I'm sure you might have your favorite way to do this. Maybe it's not to put it in a book at all. Maybe it's just to write yourself a letter or to read a book on the topic. I think creating a journal is kind of like the action after I learn something. It helps it to sink in deeper. So I always like to add a title to the page. Right away, I know what this page is about. I wrote, when my to-do list feels endless and stressful, this tool becomes my gentle anchor. Instead of chasing what still needs doing, it lovingly shifts my focus to what's already done. That's what I want to remember. It's my way of stepping out of the rush, moving from reluctance to acceptance, from dreads to dids. With a clear overview of today, followed by this week and this month, I can breathe and choose what's next with calm and harmonious intention. That's what I love about something every day. And I do have a clear overview of something every day. When I see it all together, it seems like I've done a lot, right? This doesn't tell me that I haven't cleaned up my house. It just tells me, wow, look at that. Look at everything I've cleaned. I don't have to try to remember it all or do it all. My tasks flow at a kinder pace, confirmed by the dones across this page, all the while still protecting my energy and allowing for soft pockets of rest in between. Definitely, that's why I choose to do one a day and keep it simple, keep it at that. And I've also made this, which is a mini version of the calendar, my dones. And I like having this for other things, like, for example, my routines or habits or time with my family, dates with my husband, exercise, eating healthy, taking my vitamins, taking some fresh air, time in nature. So I can write whichever things I want and then tick it off for each day of the week. So that's a small version of this calendar. Here I wanted to specify a little bit more about what I did, which is why I left it a big space. So you do what you want. You might even just want one of these, and that's a good start. I encourage you for that. I can already glue that down. I'm putting it right in the middle. If I want to cover this, you can see a bit through, I can use this one. So I included books and journals as the theme of this page because it makes me think of lists. I write lots of lists. Pretend it's my little library of dones. which always helps me feel better. So I like to first add all the pictures and then the flowers and decors where I have extra space. I want to add this quote. It says, "There is magic in surrendering to the moment of what did get done instead of what should get done. There is magic in sometimes letting go of plans and taking hold of presence." I love that reminder. It's really the difference between the shoulds and the dones, which is what I want to focus on with this page. I can even use these little tags if I have enough on my calendar. I can put them somewhere, add a few words. I'm trying to use it all up, but you don't have to. If it seems too cluttered, too busy, just leave off some that aren't your favorite. You have to tell me if you enjoy these videos as you just follow me along with this process. Some of you can join me for an online journaling session and we can do ours together. Thank you to those who have replied about that. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, those of you who want to do it on your own because it's hard to find the time with the time difference in all the different locations and countries, I totally understand. But maybe you might even want to try it with a friend, somebody else that you know who would enjoy a little activity like that. What I love doing is doing the crafting part with a friend. And then when it comes to the journaling part, we all just take our times quietly, take our own alone time when it suits us back at home. When it comes to questioning ourselves about these different things, there's something special. There's something also important about doing it alone, because that way you get exactly what you need. You have more time, more focus on really listening rather than comparing what the other one is doing. So there's a balance. I love doing journaling, crafting with others. And then there's the moments when I just need to do it myself. And I realize that not everyone is the crafting, creative, journaling type. I mean, everyone is creative, but I mean creative on paper. You might be creative in the kitchen or in the garden or with a musical instrument. I did illustrations and art as a job. So I also had to break out of seeing art as a to-do and instead learn to enjoy it for my well-being. So it can take a little bit of effort sometimes to change gears. I'm not doing it for work. I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it for me. It turns into play rather than work and a task. So a lot depends on your reason for doing something, motivation for doing something. Going back to these lists, I also realize what I have prioritized, and maybe I might realize that there's something I'm doing too much of, something that I'm doing not enough of. So that's also a good reason for a done list. It's a way to keep track of lots of things in a gentle and kind way. I love doing a little pop-up look, so I'm going to use one of these. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to make a little square, cube type thing. So no, I'm trying this out to see if it will work. Would have been better to measure it first. That way it's even. But as you can see, it's a little square. I'm going to cut off the excess. So when the book is closed, it folds, and then when the book opens, hopefully it will pop up. I would like it to. Well, maybe I can make a second one. So this time I'm going to fold it in half and then half again and again. So in threes, and then there's always one extra to cut out. Put glue on one end, and I cut off one of them. That works better. And that way we can have two flowers pop up. I would have thought of it earlier. I could have made a little book journal pop-up. So if you haven't done yours at the same time as mine, you can choose what you would like to pop up. Might even like the quote to pop up. That way it gets your attention. And when it closes, it will close like that. Then I'll put the leaves behind after. It's not that bad if I change things around from my original plan. It's just fun to go with the flow. I guess I ended up using everything after all. So let me try it closed. And open. Close, it goes flat. And open, it kind of pops up in place. You can kind of see the 3D look there. So next on this page, so I'm going to continue on, and you choose what you want to prioritize in getting done this month. Same here, maybe it's not your home cleanup tasks, maybe it's your meals that you cook, which I've also included and made one just for our family meals. That way I can keep track of what I make and refer back to it the next month. It just helps to simplify rather than having to think of new things all the time. I write down the ones that we really enjoy together and that my kids would enjoy again. Now I might add a little bit of doodles. There's not so much to add because it's already very full, but I do like including a little bit of the hand-drawn look. And because it's summer, I love all the leaves and flowers that we're enjoying at the moment. You might want to highlight your quotes with a nice straight line or wiggly lines. And there's always little blanks to fill up some more things. I love to challenge my mind with these journal pages, so I'm going to think of some words that come to mind when I think of done. And I think I might even ask Chat GPT to help me. Sometimes I like to challenge myself, and sometimes it's fun to work alongside it. So
Please give me some sweet words related to the word done when it comes to simplifying my home and life and well-being routines.
So let's see what it gives me. Complete, cleared, settled. I love also that I've kind of trained it now, not just to give me the word, but it kind of gives me a phrase. So it gives me the meaning of it. And I can choose which ones I want. I'm going to pick out the ones that speak to me the most, that call out to me, that I want to relate this page to. Complete, whole, nothing missing. So that's not really my intention to have something nothing missing, because then it's putting too much focus and energy on perfecting it, and that's not what I'm going for. Cleared, the space, the mind, the air. Settled, everything in its place, including you. I love that one. So the done list kind of helps me focus on what is settled. So I might just write them here. I don't have space to write the meaning, but wrapped, like a cozy blanket around a task, tucked away with love and intention. I love tucked away. Tucked away to me is kind of like feeling secure and safe. So those things that are on my done list are secured, tucked away. Almost like I can let them go, let them out of my mind. Smoothed, no rough edges, buttoned up, softly sealed. Blessed and done, tidied with care, put to rest, glowed and closed, filled under peace, crossed with calm, complete enough. I like complete enough. That gives it the balance. So it doesn't have to be complete and finished, but complete enough. Embracing the beauty of good as is. I like that one. Good as is. Tidied with care, a task with heart. I like the done with heart. It's not done with force. So oftentimes it's letting it speak to me in a personal way. Even some of these things that it gave me, I love, and I could include in there. But then I try to ask myself, well, how would it be even more personal to me and for my situation or for this page? Cleared. I like clear the space. Space cleared. That's another way to say that it's done. It kind of reminds me of my daily routines. The space is cleared, even if it's not deep cleaned, it's cleared, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, I think I like those. And of course, I can think of some others. Oh, I like the one imperfectly finished. Again, that gives the balance. Another one that I use a lot lately is tended to. So tended to me, feels that it's cared for. To me, means it's done well enough. I think I'm going to add as well, cared for. So those are all little words that mean done for me. That way it doesn't put so much pressure. Again, it's not a to-do list, it's a done list. It needs to feel good. It needs to feel peaceful and calming. I'm going to add a few of my dones. Exercise, as this is a habit I want to continue to build for my health. I'm trying to read a little more, so I'm going to write here reading. And I'm going to include pauses to see if I can challenge myself to pause during the day. Not just in the morning, but also midday. And then I'm going to have here my morning routine and my little evening routine. Maybe it will be the next page that I will focus on my routines, because that's really another area I want to simplify. And having it down on paper in my book where I can come back to remind myself of it is really a way to simplify. So I'm going to add here family, because this is month of July when my family's home. I want to spend as much time with them as possible. I'm also practicing my Spanish, so I'm going to write here Duolingo. So today we are Saturday, so maybe I will start next week. That way I have a whole week ahead for me. Maybe I will include water. And instead of ticking it, I might include how many cups of water I drink. Exercise, I could write down how many little 5-minute intervals I do, because that's how I like to divide up my exercise routine. Instead of one whole 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I just do little 5 minutes here and there throughout the day, whether it's lifting weights or whether it's a walk outside, taking care of my garden. Reading, I guess I would just tick the box, tick the circle if I do a little bit of reading. It doesn't matter if it's 1 page, 2 pages, half a page. I did some reading, and that's the way I'm getting it done. Same with the rest of it. If I do something in my routine, I don't have to do the whole routine. It's good enough. If I spend a few minutes with each member of my family, I count it as done. This is the gentle way of doing the done. I'm trying to move out again from the to-do lists that feel stressful and pressured and overwhelming. So this is always a loving page to come back to remind myself of what I am doing, what is enough, how I am growing. I hope you enjoyed doing this page with me, and come again if you want to do the next page. Feel free to download this set of pages from the link below, and I'll say bye for now. See you next time.